Do you crave exciting sports takes and news? Fed up with the same old boring voices you hear on the radio? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you just might be a TBloomaholic. Lucky for you, it's time for another episode of the TBloom Talk Show, the #1 sports podcast in the world. Settle in, my TBloomanites, because another episode starts right now. Live from TBloom headquarters, here's your host, TBloom.
And we are live from the TBloom headquarters, baby. Welcome to another episode of the TBloom Talk Show. Another one. And we got some big news today, folks. Those who do not follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, you don't understand what may have transpired over this past weekend. I had a meeting with corporate. As you know, the last meeting didn't go so well. They were, a little bit upset about the lateness of some of my podcasts, and for fair reason. I like to be punctual. I pride myself on being on time, on task, and on target. But long story short, I had a meeting with corporate over this past weekend, and they want to go all in on TBloom. They like the TBloom takeover so much, they thought TBloom took over enough to where they want to push me full time, so I will be on podcasts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. As long as I know. I mean, this could be going on forever, guys. This can be the start of something great. I'm happy for the opportunity, and I'm happy to be here. They also told me the budget is opening up. Obviously, they have to get funds in the way digits work in bank accounts. It takes a couple days for transfers and this and that, but just be on the lookout for new upgrades and new things coming to the podcast and other TBloom content. With that being said, I don't want to hold you too long with the good news. We got a lot to get into today. We're going to go over pretty much everything that happened in the first round, first day, or first 2 days of the NBA playoffs. I'm going to go through all the games, stuff that I feel like is notable, and we're going to start a new segment for opening day full-time TBloom. And we'll let you know what that is at the end. Anyway, let's get right into it. We're going to start off by talking about the Jazz versus Mavericks game that happened, I believe, on Saturday. It was the first game of the NBA playoffs. To kick us off, Jazz versus Mavericks. Jazz ended up winning 99-93. If you follow me on Twitter, you realize that I put out that the Mavericks would win by 5 or something like that. That was before I knew that Luka Doncic would be out. In fact, he's supposed to be out until Game 3 of the playoffs, which is kind of bad. It's not even kind of bad timing. It's terrible timing for the Mavericks because they really needed these 2 home games. They needed to snag these 2 home games if they wanted a good chance at beating the Jazz in the overall series. But that's neither here nor there. Luke is out for at least 2 games. Jazz win 99-93. My prediction for the series was the Mavs to win 4-3. It's going to be tough for them to do that if Luka's not in there. Let's talk about some of the Jazz stats. Donovan Mitchell, only 2 points in the first half, but exploded for 30 points in the second half, 6 rebounds and 6 assists overall. Bojan Bogdanovic got his name up on the point score sheet with 26. And Jalen Brunson led with 24 points, but just 9 for 24 from the field goals for the Mavericks. They don't have much to offer without Luka. Let's just put it that way. Long story short, the Mavs need Luka if they want to win. As said at the beginning of this podcast, they really needed to win these home games in order to have a good chance at beating the Utah Jazz, because the Jazz, playing them at home, it's going to be tough to beat them twice at home, let alone 3 times if they want to win this series. So just to keep an eye on that one there. Jazz are up 1-0. Their next game is today at 5:30. So if you're hearing this, the game's probably already on. I'm going to predict the Jazz to win again. I just don't see the Mavericks beating them without Luka. I mean, Luka's like what LeBron was to the Cleveland Cavaliers back in the day. He is that team, and without him, it's hard to have much confidence in him. So I'm going to go Jazz. Let's say by 7. 107-101. Let me write that down. 107-101 Jazz. Okay, so now next game we got the T-Wolves versus the Grizzlies. Remember, the T-Wolves were that play-in team that snuck their way into the playoffs. Can they make some noise? They did make some noise. They won 130-117 against the Grizzlies. I predicted the series would go 4-2 in the Grizzlies' favor. They didn't make it easy on themselves to eclipse that winning series, whatever. They didn't make it easy on themselves to win 4-2 by losing the opening game. I mean, they looked sluggish. They did not look like the Grizzlies team we've seen all year in the regular season. Some stats and some interesting stats that happened in this game. For the T-Wolves, Anthony Edwards scored 36 points, 6 assists, and he went 12 for 23 from the field. Karl-Anthony Towns, 29 points, 13 boards, 11 for 18 from the field. Malik Beasley with 23 points. D'Angelo Russell, I believe, only had like 10 points. Didn't do too much, but they got the win, so no harm, no foul there. Interesting stat of the night, though. Excuse me. Anthony Edwards and Ja Morant become the first opposing players in NBA history to each score at least 30 points in a playoff game at the age of 22 or younger. Now, I don't know what's more remarkable or what's more I'm surprised that they did that or that both these guys are under 22 years old. I'm getting old. I mean, Jesus, these guys look like full-grown men and they're younger than me. It's weird. It's weird. We're getting to that point in my life where I'm the old guy. I'm not, I'm no longer the young buck. And it's a different dynamic, and I don't know how I feel about it just yet. Let's go over some Grizzly stats, though. Enough about that. Ja Morant, 32 points, 8 assists, 4 boards, but only 8 for 18 from the field. It's okay, though. Dylan Brooks put up 24 points. And the T-Wolves go up 1-0, and the next game is on Tuesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. If I had to put money on who would win this next game, and I'm going to predict it, I'm going to go with the Grizzlies. I think they rebound here. I think they come back strong, get a game at home, and they take this thing 1-1 going into Minnesota. I'll say give me 115 to 117 Grizzlies. That'll be my prediction. Yeah, that's a good one. Another interesting stat. I don't even call this a stat. I'd call this another interesting thing that took place during this game was a woman chained herself to the hoop during, I think it was just the middle of the game, just a random game. She was protesting the owner's involvement in I think like farming something. I don't know. You'd have to research that yourself. But she chained herself up during the game. She eventually got escorted the fuck out the stadium because I mean, who has time for that shit when you got NBA basketball on the line? I mean, these guys literally picked her up and threw her ass outside. I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. Moving on, next game, we got the Raptors versus the 76ers. Let me take a drink of water here. Remember, this podcast, TBloom Talk Show, is brought to you by water. That is it. That is the ad. So, Raptors versus 76ers. I'm going to come out and say it. Raptors lost 111 to 131. There's no surprises in this game. I predicted this series would go 4-1 in the 76ers' favor. This series might go 4-0 in the 76ers' favor because the Raptors did not look threatening at all. It's what the 76ers had to offer. Pascal Siakam led the team with 24 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists. And there's really no point to even read off any other stats besides that. The 76ers stats, Joel Embiid had 19 points and 15 rebounds, just his dominant, usual self. And I mean, what can you say? The maybe MVP did his thing out there, but he wasn't the only one doing his thing out there for the 76ers. Tyrese Maxey, ever heard of him? Yeah, turns out he's a baller. 38 points, 4 rebounds, just 2 assists, but he got 38 points out there. Went 5 for 8 from the 3-point line, 14 for 21 from the field, and 5 for 5 from the free throw line. And guess what? He did it all without a turnover. He led the team in points, all without a turnover. You guys are wondering about, oh, what did James Harden do? Oh, he played 40 minutes and went 6 for 17 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3-point line, 6 for 7 from the free throw. Yeah, he had 14 assists and 22 points. Who cares? Who cares? If you guys don't know, I'm a little biased towards hating James Harden because I'm a Chris Paul fan. So that's why I had a little stank on that when I said his stats. Tobias Harris, he had 26 points. He went 5 for 6 from the free throw, 3 for 5 from the 3-point, and 9 for 14 from the field. 6 boards and 6 assists. He had a pretty efficient ball game. Overall, all the 76ers got in and on it a little bit, you know? It was a total team effort. So the Sixers go up 1-0. Their next game is on actually in about less than an hour at 4:30. It's 3:50 right now. So it'll probably be done by the time you're hearing this. I'm going to go 76ers. I think it's going to be a little bit closer, this one, but I think we'll go 110 to 107 76ers. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, next game. We got the Nuggets versus the Warriors. Nuggets lost 107 to the Warriors 123. My prediction was 4-3 Warriors at the beginning of the series. Some stats for the Warriors. Steph Curry only played 22 minutes. If anybody watched this game, you saw that the Warriors pretty much handled this through and through. There was really never a time where they were threatened by the Nuggets at all. They kind of, whenever the Nuggets got close to taking the lead or going on a run, the Warriors would just hit a three as they usually do, just to stop any kind of momentum the Nuggets had going for them. And for them to win handily against this caliber of team and Steph Curry only having to play 22 minutes is scary. It's scary for us Suns fans, and it's scary for the rest of the league. Warriors are back, and someone's got to stop them. And God damn it, it doesn't look like the Nuggets are going to do that. But anyway, Stephen Curry played 22 minutes, had 16 points, 4 assists, 3 boards, 1 turnover, and went 3 for 6 from the three-point range. Jordan Poole, however, was the star of the night, and he happened to be the only player to play at least 30 minutes for the Warriors. That's right, none of the 3 Hall of Famers on their team had to even play 30 minutes for them to win by, how much is that, 16. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. Jordan Poole, 30 points, 9 for 13 from the field, 5 for 7 from three-point range, and 7 for 8 from the free throw line. Very efficient game there. Some team stats. The Warriors shot 45.7 from the three-point line and 52.4% from the field, so they were just hitting on all cylinders. Warriors playing Warrior ball. They looked fluid out there. They looked like the fucking best team in the league if the Suns weren't in the league. Anyway, Nugget stats. Jokic, he played 35 minutes, unfortunately, which isn't too much. We're going to get into minutes even more as we break down these other games, but 35 minutes, it's a lot, especially when you're losing by 16, but at the same time, it's not as much as some of these other stars are playing. Jokic had 25 points, 10 boards, 6 assists, 12 for 25 from the field, 0 for 4 from three-point range, 3 turnovers, but had 3 steals, so they kind of cancel out. Will Barton happened to play the most minutes out of everyone in the game, including all 4 future Hall of Famers, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Jokic, and they're all in their prime too. Well, except maybe Klay and Draymond, but he played more minutes than 4 Hall of Famers on the floor, which is interesting. He had 24 points, 6 boards, 5 assists, but also 3 turnovers. Yeah, Golden State leads the series 1-0 going into the next game, which is tonight at 7 p.m. It should be a fucking doozy. I'm looking forward to maybe the Nuggets kicking in gear, maybe getting something done. I doubt it. That's why I'm going with the Golden State Warriors to win again tonight. We'll go fucking 105 to 110. 105 to 110, Golden State Warriors. Yeah, that sounds good. Man, I really wish the Nuggets had more. I really wish Jamal Murray was back. This would have been a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. Anyway, we got 2 more games to do, and these games I didn't get a chance to get out my official predictions before game 1, but who cares? I'm going to give my official predictions out now. I actually did tell you guys it didn't matter who the 8th seed was going to play against the Suns, I was going to take the Suns regardless. I will say I think the Suns will win this series 4-2. I think we drop 2. I don't want to drop 2, but I think we win both our games at home and then we lose both the games in New Orleans for some reason. I got that feeling. I just have that feeling. Now let's see something. All right, here we go. Okay, Phoenix Suns, I mean, they pretty much handled business the whole night. It kind of got close back in the fourth quarter. New Orleans started making a run. I think they came within 5 points, but then Chris Paul the guy just doesn't get older. Every year he seems to do the same exact moves, the same exact speed and efficiency. He's just so smooth out there. And that's not even me being a Chris Paul stan. That's just me fucking seeing what I'm seeing. And I know you guys see it too. He took over the fourth quarter. I think he had like 15 points. At one point he scored 11 points in a row for us. He played 35 minutes, 12 for 16 from the field, 4 for 6 from the three-point line, 2 of those being in the fourth, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 10 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, and only 2 turnovers. He only had 2 turnovers. You know how many times this guy handles the ball? Devin Booker, 8 for 19, 4 for 8 from the three-point line, 5 for 6 from the free throw, 8 assists, and just 1 turnover. 25 points overall. It was a full team effort for the Suns in this game. DeAndre Ayton played well. Miles Bridges played well. Cam Johnson, a beast. Very, very good win for the Phoenix Suns. We got to clean it up in the fourth quarter because we cannot let better teams come back on us like they did, like the New Orleans Pelicans did last night. Should not have had a scare there. And I also am worried about Devin Booker playing 41 minutes. We should have had him on. We should have been able to have the lead enough for Devin Booker to rest and maybe only play like 35 minutes. Do not like seeing players play that long. Where else we going? Okay, yeah, some New Orleans stats. Brandon Ingram had 18 points. CJ McCollum turned it on in the fourth quarter. He went 9 for 25, 3 for 8 from 3-point with 25 points, 6 to 6, and 8 boards. Yeah, not much else. Not much else to talk about in this game. Suns get it done. I think the Suns are going to win 4-2. That's my official prediction. Their next game is tomorrow night at, I believe, 6 o'clock. I'm going to go with the Suns winning it 110 to 103. Yep. 110 to 103. That should do it. Moving on to the next game, we got Brooklyn versus Boston, and this is a really exciting one, only because you got KD and Kyrie, and you also got fucking Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, just the whole Celtics. There's just so many stars on the court. There's so many goddamn stars, so many athletes, and yeah, it's an exciting one. So yeah, it was an exciting one. The prediction for me was 4-3 Boston, so I think it's going to go 7 games at least. And here we go. Brooklyn stats. KD put up 23 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, but he played 41 minutes and had 6 turnovers to lose. And I will say it again and again and again. If the Brooklyn Nets think that they can play KD and Kyrie this many minutes for this long and think that they're going to have enough juice left to play in the playoffs or play a Giannis in the Eastern Conference Finals, you guys got another thing coming. I mean, especially, this isn't even being bad. They're a little injury prone, right? I mean, Kyrie's no stranger to injuries, especially in the playoffs. KD's no stranger to injuries. And it's not even bad. I mean, anybody who plays 41 minutes a game at the same intensity as an NBA playoff game, you're going to get injured unless you're Superman like LeBron James or something. But even if they do win the series and they're playing that much, I don't know. I just don't see them being able to last very long to even get in the finals in the first place. But anyway, there's KD's stats. Kyrie, he did not miss in the first quarter. He went 9 for 9 to give the Brooklyn Nets a little bit of juice for the offense. Some takeaways. Kyrie and KD both played over 40 minutes in this game. Jason Tatum played 45 and Al Horford played 41. And Al Horford is 35 years old. So the same shit I'm saying for the Nets, the Boston Celtics need to kind of take the same shit. You can't have some players playing 40, 45 minutes at the age of 35 and expect them to go make a deep run in the playoffs. I just don't see it happening, man. It just doesn't seem like it's built to work out like that. But that's why TBloom's not necessarily a coach in the NBA, is he? He's sitting here talking about it. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Anyway, Jason Tatum, he had 31 points, and he also had the game-winning layup to end it, to make sure that they were down, and then he made the game-winning layup to take the lead at the end of the game. So shout out Jason Tatum hitting the buzzer beater in the playoffs. 31 points, had 5 turnovers, 8 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 10 for 12 from the free throw line. That's a good stat to have. Al Horford, 8 for 13, 20 points. Jaylen Brown, 23 points. Kyrie Irving, 39 points. I mean, this guy was just going insane. Is Kyrie Irving the best player on the Brooklyn Nets offensively? That's a question. That's a genuine question. I don't know because he's playing, or at least offensively, yeah, he's playing a little bit better than Kevin Durant, I think. Both teams putting a lot of miles on their key players overall, and Boston Celtics squeak out a game 1 victory. Next game, I think it's going to be, I think Brooklyn Nets snag it. I think Brooklyn wins. We'll go 103 to 107. Nets. Quote me. All right. Next game, the Chicago Bulls. Whoa. Don't you guys hate it when ESPN likes to pop up ads that just randomly play? Just blow your cover at work? You guys know what I mean. But yeah, Chicago versus Milwaukee. This was an interesting game. It definitely wasn't a blowout like most people thought it was going to be. It started off a blowout. Milwaukee went up by 16 early, but the Bulls actually played pretty well against them. They brought it back to within at least 3 at one point, I think with like 2 minutes left. Chicago ended up losing 86 to 93, but still a well hard fought game and definitely showed some building blocks. Oh my god, they keep doing it, dude. I don't want to listen to your fucking commercial while the TBloom talk show's going on, especially about a car. I have a car. I don't need that shit. Sorry, guys. Where were we? That's right. Chicago Bulls versus Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee won, but Chicago they set up some building blocks to maybe eventually beat the Bucks in a couple games. They got some work to do for sure, but they showed spurts that they can hang with the Bucks and potentially steal a couple games. Maybe not win the series. I don't think they have enough firepower to win the series, but they could steal a couple games here. Like I said, that's all I'm saying. Some stats. We'll start with the Bulls. That's PJ Williams, right? Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams. He had 5 points, so you know I'm starting with him. Uh, Nikola Vucevic, 24 points. He went 4 for 5 from the free throw line, had 9 total rebounds, or 17 total rebounds. Holy shit. 17 total rebounds, 8 offensive ones, but went 2 for 10 from 3-point range. And he had a lot of open threes. So if he can hit maybe 3 more of those threes in the future, I can see them taking a few games that way. DeMar DeRozan, 6 for 25, struggled a little bit, only 18 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and played 43 minutes, taking a toll on him. Vucevic played 39, by the way. Caruso played some valuable minutes, had a lot of good defensive plays on Giannis that won't stand out in the stat sheet. Zach LaVine also struggled, 6 for 19. He forced a 3-pointer at the end of the game. I think they were down by 3 with like a minute left, and they could have worked a better shot, but he decided to take a damn near fucking like 3 feet from the 3-point line shot, trying to play hero ball, and he's just not that guy, at least not yet. And he missed, and it really turned all the momentum and sealed the game for the Bucks ultimately. Some stats for the Bucks: Giannis put up 27, 16 boards, 3 assists, had 5 turnovers though. Needs to slow down with that, but that's what Giannis does. Did struggle from the line, only went 6 for 11, but this guy's just so dominant. It doesn't really matter. He as long as he's out there, it's a good thing. Chris Middleton, he struggled a little bit, 4 for 13 from 11 for 11 points. Brook Lopez, 18. Yeah, this was not an offensive game by any means, but this was both teams were playing good defense. I think both teams pride themselves on their defense a little bit more than other teams, and it definitely showed. One thing that's for sure, though, Zach LaVine forcing a 3 near the end instead of working for a bucket is kind of questionable. Giannis imposes his will whenever he wants, and both these teams are terrible at 3-point shooting, at least in the first game. So those are the takeaways for that. Next game is on Wednesday at 4 p.m., I believe. Yeah, I think Wednesday at 4 p.m. Oh no, is it Wednesday 4 p.m.? Come on, man. I'm gonna find out right now for you guys. 4:20. So not tomorrow. Yeah, it is Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. 4:20. If you know, you know. Be a great game to watch after you indulge. You take that however you want to. I'm gonna go with. Give me the Bulls winning this one. I think the Bulls steal one. We'll go. We'll go 100-93 Bulls. I think they go 1-1 going back into Milwaukee. I think they can definitely go 1-1 back into Milwaukee. Okay. Last but not least game to cover or series to cover. The Atlanta Hawks versus Miami Heat. Miami wins 115-91. Hawks look like shit out there. Trae Young 1 for 12, only 8 points, 0 for 7 from the 3, and 6 turnovers. You're not going to, as the Hawks, you are not built to win games where Trae Young shoots 1 for 12 from the field. If he shoots anything close to that, you are guaranteed not winning the game. Danilo Gallinari is not enough. He got 17 points, 5 for 12 from the field. That's not enough. You need more. On the other side of things, Jimmy Butler, 21 points. PJ Tucker, 16 points. I mean, just a fucking dominant game by Duncan Robinson, 9 for 10 from the field, 8 for 9 from 3, 27 points. That's about as efficient as it gets. Didn't do shit else though. Had zero turnovers, 0 blocks, 0 steals, 0 assists, 1 rebound. It's okay though. Udonis Haslem is still on the fucking team. Udonis Haslem still plays for the Miami Heat. How does that work? Is that like what Victor Oladipo does too? How does Udonis Haslem play for the fucking Heat still? That's like a Jawan Howard thing. How many points did he put up? Does he even play or is he just like Jawan Howard? He put up 2.5 points per game this season. Udonis Haslem. What an OG triple O. How old is he? Udonis Haslem. Age. He's 41 years old. I fucking love him. Good fucking shit, Udonis. Oh, Mario Chalmers is 35. That's crazy. I'm getting old, man. It is just one of those days where you're just feeling the aging happening in real time. I don't know how I feel about it. But we've gotten to a point. It's time for a new segment. This segment, are you ready for this? Drum roll, please. It is time for Who Impressed and Who Digressed. That's right. This game, it's not a game, it's a segment. This segment focuses on 3 players that digressed, or not digressed. Fuck, I can't even say it. 3 players that impressed and regressed in their efforts. We'll start with the regress. You guys can probably guess who I will start with on the regress. And that rhymed. It was not intentional. That's just how we do it on the TBloom Talk Show. It's all natural. First player that regressed, or first, it could be a team player, it could be anything that regressed. First regression was the Memphis Grizzlies. I know. You could probably see it coming. Kind of obvious. Going into the playoffs, they were hot. They won how many games in a row without John Morant? Everyone was on fire. Yeah, this team can do this. They're young. They're ready to go. And then they just got whooped by the Pellies. They didn't get necessarily whooped, but they got whooped. Anytime you don't win and you lose by multiple digits, that's regression right there, bruvs. And I think it speaks for itself. But let's go. Let's bring it up. Let's cheer each other up. Let's go to the impressed. Who impressed? Call me biased. Call me cheesy. But CP3Z, he impressed the hell out of me last night. Still shown that he had it when the Phoenix Suns, the best team in the league, needed someone to step up. Chris Paul stepped up and shut that game out by himself. It wasn't Devin Booker. It wasn't Miles Bridges. It was Chris Paul getting it done, not by assisting or doing any of that stuff, by ISOing and getting it done scoring. Very impressed by Chris Paul. Call me biased, call whatever you want. Chris Paul, point guard, shout out. Now let's bring it back down a little bit. Let's get a little bit low. Let's start to, we're going to hurt some people's feelings with this next regression. You guys ready for this? The Dallas Mavericks. I know what you're thinking. They don't have Luka. It's not fair to judge them this way. Now hear me out. I understand they don't have Luka. That is exactly why they are regressing. A Luka-less Mavericks team is obviously a regression from a team that has Luka, right? So it's an obvious correlation. The Mavericks have regressed. But let's bring it back up again. Up. Let's give props, give shout outs. And I hate to say it, but the next impression, who is impressed? The Golden State Warriors. And I shouldn't even be surprised by how well they played because they're just so dominant and have been for the last fucking decade, it seems. But the way they just dominated the Denver Nuggets, just claps up. I mean, they didn't even fucking get challenged at all by the team with the MVP on their team. Absolutely dominated the Denver Nuggets. And that's why they're on the impressed list. Now let's bring it back down to the regress list. The third team, the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks got absolutely shitted on by that Miami Heat. And I'm speechless. I mean, they came in playing team. I didn't think they'd just get whooped like this by the Miami Heat, but then it goes to realize, I mean, they don't have anybody but Trae Young. As I said, he went 1 for 12 from the field. 1 for 12 from the field, and they had no shot. I thought they were a little bit more well-rounded of a team to maybe at least keep up with Miami. Maybe Miami Heat's better. Maybe the Miami Heat is just that damn good. I don't know. But I'm going to put the Hawks as my third regression. But let's cheer it back up. And this time, it's a player that I had to put on the impress list, and it's Anthony frickin' Edwards. 38 points in your first playoff game ever. I mean, he gets into company. He's the first player to ever be with another opposing player to put up 30-plus points or yada, yada, yada at the age of 22 or less. The guy's 22 years old and put up 38 points in his first playoff game ever. Kobe can't even say he did that. LeBron can't even say he did that. And that is why Anthony Edwards is my last and official person who impressed. So that's the end of the segment. Regressed and impressed. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of the TBloom Talk Show. Thanks everyone who are listening. Just keep it up, TBloom Nation. TBloomanites, stick with me. As I said, corporate's opening up the budget. We're hoping to get a lot more new content, new stuff out there. Just keep pushing, keep liking, keep subscribing, and most of all, keep watching sports and keep coming back. TBloom Nation. Sayonara. TBloom signing out.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the TBloom Talk Show. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard our content so you never miss an episode. For more information or to connect with TBloom, check out TBloom Talk Show on YouTube and Twitter. We'll see you next time.